start with opening statement from Coach, and then we will take some questions.
Well, I just want to start by saying thank you to Bronco Nation. That stadium was awesome tonight. Very grateful for the opportunity to have a home field. Not only a stadium that has the energy like that, but just the passionate fans that bring that energy. So we obviously fell short here on the last play of the game tonight, but extremely proud of the jump and the growth the team made, in a lot of areas. We knew what the stretch was coming in the beginning of this season. We're the first two opponents, and I'll take this team every day of the week. I know we're going to answer some questions. Everyone's going to want to know about this or that. I'll take this team every day of the week. That's how I'm going to start off by handling this press conference, because of the growth, the way the older guys lead, the way the younger guys are growing very fast, and we're going to have a tremendous team. I know there's nothing that's going to, in the locker room right now, there's nothing that we're going to say that makes any one of those guys, anybody in there, feel better. When you go down on the wire like that and you lose on the last play of the game, it's going to sting. When the team cares about each other as much as they do, it's going to sting. But that's what we're going to draw back from and be able to use as we work forward. We learned a lot this week. We learned a lot in practice. We learned a lot about what it looks like to prepare, and we will continue to grow as we move forward. I mean, we knew we were playing a high-powered offense. They had 700 and something yards last week. So we knew we were going to have to play really well in the red zone. They were going to get their yards. And I really love the way the defense played down there tonight. We spent a lot of time this week prepping to be good in the red zone, knowing that we were going to be in those situations. And it was awesome to see the way we got those turnovers again, the stop on fourth down. I mean, to be able to come away with those three right there and force, really, I think, I don't have the stats right in front of me, but I'm pretty sure it was all but one touchdown down in there. I mean, that says a lot to the growth, and we put a premium on that this week. Number one, about how we play in the red zone, how we prep. There's a lot of things that go into being a good red zone defense, and then obviously the takeaways. The tackling in open space, we knew with the speed on the field was going to be a huge challenge. And, again, really excited to see some of these guys and, step up. Guys like Marco, who made a bunch of nice plays in the alley, one-on-one tackles against some speed. So these are the things that we're going to be able to grow from as we move forward. Obviously, the record doesn't represent where we want to be right now. We've got a lot of football left to play.
You stated that last week. Maddox comes in, leads a clutch final drive there. But what kind of goes into that decision, Andy, as much as you can say to ride with Maddox there at the end?
Yeah, I mean, shoot, TG started cramping up and stuff, and so being able to, Mad Dog's done a nice job in camp and all through practice and all that. I mean, he has the confidence of the team. So when he had to jump in there and roll, we were able to stick with him and we had a few drives there that obviously we weren't able to get much going, but we did on that last one, and that was a really good job by him, taking what the defense gave him. Big-time play to Steph, and what an extraordinary effort by Steph to run out of that tackle there and get us in position to get ahead at that point.
What were you seeing on that final drive? There were times where, he did look like a freshman, but then he comes back and gets that fourth down run. Just what kind of, what were you seeing out of him?
Well, I think one of the biggest things is what you're going to get from Maddox is a very consistent decision-making process. He is going to work the progression. He's going to make the decisions as, is installed, taught, how he's trained, how he's prepared from the meeting room to the field. And, in those situations on game-ending drives like that, that's exactly what you got to do. And he just relied on his prep. And each and every week he gets the opportunity to run the 2-minute. And he does a really good job with it, and thankfully today, he gave us him and the offense, obviously put us in position to win the game.
Right after that touchdown, the place is rocking, and the lights are flashing, and music's blaring. I mean, you guys got the lead finally. I mean, just what were your thoughts at that point, and then what was UCF able to do on that final drive where you guys were just unable to get a big stop there to keep them out of field goal range?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we didn't get off the field as number one. we didn't do a great job on the plaster drill. The quarterback scrambled on one of those plays there that we had him in a longer down distance situation, and he hit one of the wide receivers on the sideline. So we understood and knew what they were going to do in the 2-minute, and in terms of how they were going to start the drive with certain run plays and things like that. Given the scenario, the amount of time, there was a fair amount of time on the clock left. So at that point, you're playing more than just a 2-minute offense. At that point, and being that there's enough time to run the ball and do stuff like that, I thought we were on the same page. As a defense, as a coaching staff, and obviously. Just the ability to execute and make some plays there down the stretch, we weren't able to get it done.
We heard you and a lot of the guys talk last week that there was control or issues with eye control. How did you see that today, and was that an improvement?
It was a huge improvement. I mean, the first interception down there in the low red zone, Rodney came out of his break and made a play on the wide receiver, and obviously we were able to tip the ball up and it was intercepted, and so that was one of the few examples. The way we tackle is a big part of eye control. I felt like as a secondary, there were times we let routes get behind us. I don't think it was necessarily eye control issue on the majority of them as much as it was of playing with the proper leverage and having an understanding of what formations they were in and knowing that there were only certain routes that they were going to run.
Coach, like you said, good excellent defense, but give up over 500 yards today. What happened last week as well? Just is there anywhere defensively you can see room for improvement or something you'd like to see better?
Yeah, I mean, there's this early in the season, there's going to be a room for improvement on all three phases. But again, each and every week as we grow, towards our conference play and the opportunities we get. Like I said, I'll take this team any day of the week because this is going to be a dang good team. And again, the way we grew, in terms of the way we played coverage today, we stayed the course for the majority of the game. There was a few times when we got some silly penalties that we shot ourselves in the foot that definitely we could have did without those. But as we continue to mature and grow as a team and keep ourselves out of those situations where we're not putting ourselves behind the chains, that's one area, I'll tell you what, that I would love to see us continue to grow. We had a hands to the face penalty today that was another 15 yards on top. Like, those are the things right there as we mature as a team that we have to understand. We have to eliminate those.
Play defense. What makes Ashton Yancey so hard to tackle, to get down?
I mean, just the explosiveness to change the direction, his ability to change direction and accelerate very quickly is pretty elite. And then from the standpoint of the way he runs the ball, his low center of gravity, I mean, there's not a lot to tackle, and he's one of the strongest guys on the team. Whether you want to go pound for pound or just straight up weight, he's one of the strongest guys.
I mentioned in the opening statement, you kind of knew what you guys were getting into to start the season here with these 2 games, obviously. And but this team hasn't been 0-2 around here in a long time. I mean, what's your message to the fans, I guess, and just people that aren't used to seeing?
Yeah, that's what we already talked about. I mean, 0-2 isn't like, that's definitely not the place we want to be. So I think one of the biggest things that we get to learn from coming out and playing the number 10 team in the nation, and obviously a team that is another Power 5 school. And so the opportunity to grow this team forward is going to be the priority. We're going to, like I said a couple times already, we're going to have a really good team. I'm excited about this team. You can tell by the way they grew from the first week to this week, the passion, the love, the way they played tonight. Again, came down the last play. It didn't go our way. And there's no excuse for that. And just like a second ago in the locker room, there's nothing that anybody's going to say to make people feel better in there. But what we are going to do is we're going to grow, and we're going to attack each week from here as we work in the conference play, and we'll have a good season.
What did you see from Jonah this week, this fall camp, to trust him to hit that 56-yarder?
Yeah, I've seen him kick field goals from that exact spot on the field over and over. So, when the team's getting done flexing, stretching prior to practice, the specialists are usually warming up on the other side of the field, and I've seen him kick that with about the same distance that he made it with today. So, you trust in a guy that's as consistent every single day as he is. And no, I was just gonna say, so when you make the call, you've seen him handle it.
Today, what potential do you see for him moving forward?
Yeah, there are some flashes there, huh? from him. It's just another one of our, a guy that we've recruited here recently that's young talent that's developing, that's going to have a bright future. And we're early on in the season, so it's good for him to get some of these reps early on so that he can continue to gain the experience as we move forward and proving to be against a Power 5 team, an explosive runner, and to be able to do some things. But, naturally it takes the reps within practice and banking those and getting the experience of handling it. But getting in that game today and doing what he did was huge.
How encouraging were those red zone stops?
I mean, that's, again, we put a lot into the red zone this week in terms of our preparation and the game plan and what we were going to see and what we were going to need to take away. And, again, down there, there's the width of the field is what gets used by the offense. So everything happens faster, from pick routes to pocket movement and things like that. And, again, part of that is understanding how to leverage formations, how we're going to play certain things, but also, the biggest part is playing with eye control because everything happens so fast down there. So the improvements that came from that, we're really excited. And, again, we're going to need to build off of that and to be honest with you, keep ourselves out of the red zone so much. So that will be one of the things that we work on next year is making sure that we continue to work on eliminating some of the explosive plays in the open field.
How much you liked from Maddox and consistent decision maker. I mean, will you?
No, he did a good job tonight. I thought he really did a good job tonight, and I thought both of them did a good job. TG just started cramping up. It was hot out there today, and luckily Mad Dog was able to come in and do a really good job.
It's a big yardage total in part because James Ferguson Reynolds was punting again. How impressive was he?
Yeah, I mean what James what James has been able to get done, and they came after it. They came after it early on, and so not only with James but with the Ali protection, and that's what we call our punt team. The way they protected early on, and then getting in the coverage because they got some explosive returners back there. That's another huge part of it. James did a nice job with his placement, a nice job changing up the actual kicks so they weren't going to be able to be fielded. Like there's things that go into this that maybe a lot of people don't realize, but we're excited about what he's doing, and we got to continue to use that as an advantage for us because, I mean, shoot, the average for him was 50 yards again this week. That's pretty elite.
Steph had that play that he made at the end of the game that was great. And Ashton's been obviously good for you guys, really explosive. But how bad in a game situation do you need another playmaker to kind of rise in your offense?
Yeah, I mean that's each and every week. There's a plan to use the personnel, the game flow. It's not always going to be balanced every single week. You want to find some consistency within that, spreading that ball around a little bit, getting EMAC some more touches, getting Billy some more touches and stuff like that, and how we do that. We've got to do a really good job with that as we move forward because those guys are very capable. They've shown to be explosive, and they're going to be throughout the course of the year.
Anything else?
Hey, Coach. Can you just kind of talk about, that field goal at the end, really close. And can you kind of talk about one way to the other side? It's a different outcome, different game. One way to the other, kind of different game. Can you just kind of talk about the highs and lows of college football and just the highs and lows?
Yeah, I mean, it comes down to 3 seconds, last play of the game. That ball goes wide right. Obviously, it's a different conversation right now. We're talking about, what is the outlook for the team? The outlook for the team is exactly the same. The outlook for the team, given that ball went through tonight, it's no different. Like, we're going to have a really good team. This team is they love each other, they're going to work hard together, and we're going to have a really good season, and it's exciting to see. We got a lot of young players that did some really good things today against a Power 5 team, okay? That ball goes through today, we take it, we own it, we move forward, and we grow, and we're going to have an unbelievable season.